Good afternoon. Welcome to Making a Different podcast, where we walk in the vision God gave us and we are not apologetic about it. Today's guest is Chelsea Spyres. We discuss the topic of human sexuality. This topic of human sexuality is very prominent in the United Methodist Church as of right now. A lot of controversy on same-sex marriages, same clergy who date or marry the same sex. Is a lot of controversy going on right now. I believe it's very important for us to be able to have these conversations, to be able to be as authentic as possible. Let's hear what Reverend Chelsea had to say about human sexuality and how media plays a part in making her decision.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Spyres, and I serve as the Director of Christian Formation here in the Baltimore, Washington Conference, but I'm going through the candidacy process in the Peninsula Delaware Annual Conference, where I am originally from, and have just finished my first year at Wesley Theological Seminary en route to hopefully get my master's in divinity. So I have been working at St. Matthew's for the last 2 years, and in these 2 years of ministry have been really blessed to serve in a pastoral role. I am able to preach about every 5 weeks. I assist with the sacraments. I have many pastoral counseling appointments on a weekly basis, sometimes with kids, sometimes with youth, sometimes with their parents, and sometimes with just whoever walks into the office that day. And the folks at St. Matthew's have been calling me their pastor now for a while, even before I was really comfortable with the title. And so it became apparent that as I'm now a year into seminary and as I've really been living into this role as their pastor, that I could be licensed this year in the Peninsula Delaware Conference as a student pastor and could serve on loan to the Baltimore, Washington Conference. And so all throughout this spring, I have been going through the process to become licensed. I submitted my paperwork in early May, did the reading, was prepared to go to licensing school a couple weeks ago. But during our annual conference season, and really throughout this spring, I have been wrestling if now was the right time for me to take clergy vows into the United Methodist Church. Whether or not, as our denomination is trying to figure out what our future looks like, and as the special conference is happening in February of 2019, and as we continue to debate matters of human sexuality, if now was the right time for me to enter. And even after all of the preparation to become licensed, in the midst of our annual conference season, I decided to remove myself from the list of appointments and decided not to become licensed this year. For me, I realized that I could not take clergy vows into a denomination that excluded my LGBTQ siblings from taking these same vows simply because of who they love and who they were created to be in relationship with. I realized that I could not take vows that I didn't fully believe in and that I couldn't fully live into. That if I was going to be able to baptize and do communion and be able to marry individuals, that I wanted to be able to baptize all and to serve communion to all and really celebrate that our table is open to all, but also to be able to marry all, to be able to perform same-sex marriages. And at this point in our denomination, that is not allowed. And so I decided that for now, I would continue, I would remain United Methodist, that I would continue to serve as laity, and that I would continue in my position at St. Matthew's, but that I would not become licensed. but that I would use my voice as laity and use my vote as laity to hopefully encourage and move the church towards change. I fully believe that the Spirit is at work and that one way or another the church is going to look very different in the next couple of years. And for me, I've decided to take a vow that until my friends who have been told no in the ordination process because of who they love, solely because of their sexual orientation, are able to take clergy vows, that I too will wait. Because these friends and colleagues are gifted and they are called by God into ordained ministry, and I discern that I could not say yes to a denomination that excludes them only because of their sexual orientation. So the question about the media and how the media has played a part of my decision, I would say that the media, especially the United Methodist News Network, has helped me to stay informed of the process through the Commission on the Way Forward and through the bishop's decisions, through the Judicial Council decisions in the last few months about what special conference will look like, and also just keeping track of the news coming out of other annual conferences and how other bishops are using their power and how other clergy are using their power and laity are using their power, and has really helped in my discernment process. It has reminded me that I am not alone in this discernment process, but this is one that the entire denomination is going through. And so media has helped me to stay informed more than anything else, I think, this spring, as there have been a lot of questions and there have been a lot of decisions that have come out and have been made public through the media. And then the last question of how can I use the media to help people understand my point of view. I was really blessed that I was able to share in a moment of personal privilege with my annual conference about why I was removing myself from the list of appointments. And shortly after, I published a note on Facebook to just let others know about my process and what led me to that decision and what I said on the floor of annual conference. And that was that note was then picked up by the Reconciling Ministries Network and then picked up by the United Methodist News that gets published weekly. And in both ways, just to share my voice and to share an opinion and a perspective that I think many others in our denomination are feeling and are wrestling, but may not be at a point where they can share. And so the media has really helped to share that moment that was really important in my discernment process and really formative in this decision. And I think the media will continue to help as special conference gets closer, as we as a local church and as a conference try and discern the ways that God is calling us forward, and as we continue to share that story with others. I'm blessed to serve at a congregation that is open and is welcoming to all individuals and affirming of all individuals, and we have made a really bold stance of inclusivity at St. Matthew's, where I serve. And that includes inclusivity of diverse theological perspectives. And so we're at a really beautiful crossroads where at this point in time, when the denomination is trying to figure out its next steps, we are also discerning and we are also sharing on our social media and on our website about the work that we are doing and the conversations that we are having, even when they are not all put together and clear, but as we really discern together. And so I think media has helped to convey that to our local congregation and to have others in our area know where we as a congregation stand, even when there are so many questions about the future of the United Methodist denomination. I think media has a powerful is a powerful tool and is one that we continue to work to use as best as we can, to share information appropriately and at the right time, but also to be open and honest about this process. Thanks.
I would like to take this time to say thank you, Reverend Chelsea, for being bold enough and unapologetic in your walk with God. I wish the best to you and your ministry moving forward. Share your thoughts with me. What do you think about the human sexuality issue that's going on in the United Methodist Church? And is it beyond the United Methodist Church, or is it just a United Methodist Church issue? I know there's other denominations who split over the issue, but what is the undercall issue for you and people of the same who love the same sex? What is the issue? And yes, I am a pastor, and let's have a conversation. Catch me on the other side.